Welcome back, everyone. I hope your new year is getting off to a great start, and I am excited to show you some new resources for your consideration. Got some books in missions, got a couple of commentaries, Q&A, book on the Gospels. So before I get into it, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. If you like books like this, feel free to like the video if you like it. That helps me out, and leave a comment if you wish. All right, first up, from Thomas Nelson, we have Biblical Missions, Forward and Contributions by John MacArthur. The book says at the top, Biblical Missions, Principles, Priorities, Practices. General Editors, Mark Taitlock and Chris Burnett. Mark Taitlock is president of Masters Seminary International, has been a leader in theological education for 3 decades. Chris Burnett is faculty at the Masters Seminary, associate director of academics at the Masters Academy International, and former missionary to Italy. Subtitle is Biblical Missions, Principles, Priorities, and Practices brings together experienced and biblically focused missions voices to equip evangelical students worldwide for a faithful gospel witness today. All right, not so much a subtitle as it is more just a description of the book. It is a huge book. It is over 900 pages in length. It's a 2-column format, and there are contributions from multiple authors. So we have part 1 is the principles, biblical foundations. All sorts of different authors are contributing articles. Part 2 is priorities. The missionary development process is the first subtitle, for example. Church planting is another subtitle. Section 3, the maturing and reproducing local church. And then we have part 3 of the entire book is practices. International practices, cultural engagement, and so forth. So, for your consideration, biblical missions. Next up is the new Daniel commentary in the NICOT series, New International Commentary in the Old Testament series. This is the first half of the book of Daniel. So the book of Daniel, chapters 1 through 6, authors Aubrey E. Buster and John H. Walton. So many who watch my channel will probably be familiar with John Walton in his work on Genesis and the Pentateuch in particular. And Aubrey Buster is Associate Professor of Old Testament at Wheaton College. She is the author of Remembering the Story of Israel. And John Walton is now Emeritus Professor of Old Testament at Wheaton College. All right, so it's just the first 6 chapters, so it's more the narrative portion. And the Daniel 7 through 12, more the apocalyptic literature portion, is coming out next. I don't know if there's a date for it. I remember emailing with John Walton last year about this commentary. I think he said 2026 for part 2, 2025 for part 1, and 2026 for part 2, but I don't remember exactly. So it is a very full commentary on the first 6 chapters, so over 800 pages in length. So it has to be one of the fuller treatments of Daniel. I haven't spent a lot of time with it yet. I just got it actually, but the content seems to be mid-level, so the content seems to be consistent with the series as a whole. So I think pastors would do great with it. You don't have to know Hebrew, in other words, to benefit from it. Next up is The Mission of God by Christopher J.H. Wright, Unlocking the Bible's Grand Narrative, and this is the new second edition. So Christopher J.H. Wright, PhD, Cambridge, is International Ambassador of the Langham Partnership. He has written many books, commentaries on Deuteronomy. That one's pretty well known. Jeremiah and Lamentations, and Ezekiel as well. I recently showed this book, Knowing God Through the Old Testament, 3 volumes in 1. So those who follow the world of biblical studies will recognize the name Christopher Wright. Most Christians would agree that the Bible provides a basis for mission, but Christopher Wright boldly maintains that there is a missional basis for the Bible itself. The entire Bible is generated by and is all about God's mission. In order to understand Scripture, we need a missional hermeneutic, an interpretive perspective in sync with the beating heart of its great mission. So that's kind of the idea of the book. Part 1, the Bible and mission. Part 2, God of the mission. Part 3, the people of mission. Part 4, the arena of mission. Yeah, okay, that's a more detailed outline. So the main part are these 4 sections here. The Bible and mission, the God of mission, the people of mission, and the arena of mission. The book is almost 600 pages in length. The Mission of God by Christopher Wright. Links to these books can be found down below. Next up is the next book from gotquestions.org ministry by S. Michael Hoodman, The 100 Most Asked Questions About Heaven, Hell, and the Afterlife. Scripture's answers to what happens after you die. So, S. Michael Hoodman is the founder and CEO of Got Questions Ministries. For more than 2 decades, he has been accountable for the content of every answer on the website, gotquestions.org, literally reading, reviewing, and answering hundreds of thousands of questions about God, the Bible, and Christianity. So, trustworthy biblical answers to your most pertinent questions. So the content is divided into 10 sections. So it looks like, 10 sections. Questions about salvation, questions about death, questions about the afterlife, questions about heaven, question about what heaven will be like, questions about what we will be like in heaven, questions about hell, questions about what hell will be like, questions about judgment and eternity, and questions about alternate afterlife beliefs. So this would be like annihilationism, purgatory, reincarnation, those kind of ideas. So 100 different questions. Next up is a new commentary from IVP in the Tyndale Old Testament Commentary series, and the Exodus volume now has a new edition. The author is Paul R. Williamson. Williamson is lecturer in Old Testament, Hebrew, and Aramaic at Moore Theological College in Sydney, Australia. He is the author of Sealed with an Oath in the NSBT series and Death and Afterlife in the same series, contributor to the New Dictionary of Biblical Theology. So IVP continues to update this series with new volumes. So I have not read any of this particular version yet, or this edition yet. But for your consideration, a new Exodus volume. Simon Gathercole. I'm a fan of Simon Gathercole's work. This one is called The Genuine Jesus and the Counterfeit Christ, New Testament and Apocryphal Gospels. What are the key differences between the canonical Gospels and the apocryphal Gospels? Simon Gathercole is professor of New Testament and Early Christianity at the University of Cambridge. He is chair of the NIV Translation Committee and has served as editor of the Journal for the Study of the New Testament and New Testament Studies. So he has written, if you're not familiar with him, I would suggest being familiar with him. He does a lot of work on the Gospels. We have blurbs from Benjamin Glad, Nijay Gupta, Amy Peeler from Wheaton College. So very good recommendations. So the sections are, what are the other Gospels? Marcion's Gospel, Gospel of Peter, Gospel of Thomas. How do you tell the Gospels apart? Authorship, dating, theological message, comparing the Gospels, Jesus, the Jewish Messiah, Part 4, Part 5, Jesus saving death, Part 6, Jesus saving resurrection, Part 7, Jesus' fulfillment of Scripture, and Part 8, what about the New Testament Gospels? So, for your consideration, the genuine Jesus and the counterfeit Christ. All right, links down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.